My peeps! It is Mary Beth Eversole, the allergy actress, coming to you today on National Toasted Marshmallow Day. So obviously today we're going to be making marshmallows, and even more than that, vegan marshmallows. That's right, you heard it, vegan marshmallows. Normally marshmallows are made with gelatin, but I have found a vegan gel that works very well, and that's what we're going to be using today. So let's check out the ingredients! Okay guys, here are the ingredients. Now first, a word about the pan, the preparation of the pan. If you do not grease this pan and then like dust it a huge amount with confectioner sugar, your marshmallows will stick and not come out, and don't do that. So make sure that you grease it. I use the vegan non-dairy buttery spread to grease it, and then I dusted it a lot with confectioner sugar that has tapioca starch instead of cornstarch in it. Alright, next we have half a cup of very cold water, and you're going to mix that with 3 packages of this vegan gel, and you're going to just let it sit. So it's 3 packages, and the packages, unfortunately, one box has 1 package, so you're going to have to get 3 boxes of it, but thankfully it's not that expensive. Okay, and then if you're using gelatin, it's the same, 3 packages of the 1/4 ounce gelatin packets, okay? Then we get 1.5 cups of white sugar, and we're going to get a cup of agave nectar. I am using this to substitute for corn syrup. If you're not allergic to corn, go ahead and use corn syrup. That's what's normally used. And then you're going to have another 1/2 cup of water. This one doesn't have to be cold. I just have it decent temperature. Okay, and then you have a tablespoon of vanilla, and you have a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and then confectioner sugar to dust with on the top. And remember, I'm using the confectioner sugar that is made with tapioca starch. So that is the ingredients. Oh, by the way, also you need a candy thermometer, because you're going to need to test where the agave syrup is getting to as far as temperature before you mix it with the gelatin. So these are like, I don't know, $4 or $5 at the grocery store. Super cheap and totally worth it. Okay, that's the ingredients. On to the main event. Okay guys, so first things first, we need to combine that vegan gel into the bowl of a stand mixer that has a whisk attachment. And then you're going to put in that 1/2 cup of very cold water. And then stir it just ever slightly. Don't stir too much. And then you're going to let it sit while you make the sauce. Okay guys, so while that gel is sitting with the water in the whisk bowl, what I have done is I have combined the white sugar with the agave nectar and the salt and the other 1/2 cup of water. And this is over medium heat, and we are stirring it and combining it until the sugar actually dissolves. Now the way you can tell that it's dissolved is it starts, because like you can see the sugar right now and it's separated from the agave. When it starts just looking like one sauce that's kind of like a milky brown looking sauce, if you're using agave. If you're using corn syrup, it'll be like a milky white consistency. When you see that happening, then you're going to bring it up to high heat, and you're going to cook it until it reaches 240 degrees, and that is where this guy comes into play. So you can actually hook this onto your pan, and then it'll just sit there until it's at 240. So my sugar is dissolved. So now I'm going to raise this up to high heat. I'm going to take this guy, stick it in there. So right now I'll tell you the temperature. It's slowly rising. It's past 100. It's going up to 125, and now it's at 150. Okay, while that's rising, let me tell you a little history about National Toasted Marshmallow Day. It's an unofficial national holiday, but it's sponsored by the National Confectioners Association, so a lot of people think it's a pretty cool holiday, you know. And then, oh, by the way, this is going to bubble when you, obviously, you bring it to high, it gets pretty bubbly. We are currently at 175. We're looking for 240, okay? So, by the way, okay, so marshmallows are old. Like, they were used, okay, so marshmallows come from marshmallow plant. And the root of the marshmallow plant was used for medicinal purposes back in Egyptian times, like ancient Egypt. Hello. And then they used other parts of the marshmallow plant for like sweet, for medicinal purposes and sweet confectioners purposes. So like they took like this thing called the pith, which is you pull the petals away and you find the middle. They use that to make this really soft, chewy candy. They combine it with sugar and there you go. It was like, ooh. So, well, combine it with sweetener. And so that was back in ancient Egyptian times. The modern day marshmallow is credited to 19th century France, where they decided to combine corn syrup and marshmallow and make this sweet thing, but they made it in local shops and it was really hard to make. And then down the road they decided to like make it easier to make by manufacturing it, and it became easier to make, and voila, now we have marshmallows everywhere. Okay, you guys, so this is at 200. And we are waiting patiently, and once it hits 200, you're going to remove it from the heat, and then you're going to start, we're going to go over to the mixer. So when this gets to 240, I will remove it from heat, and we will take it over to our mixer. Okay guys, so what I have done is that sugar mixture over there reached 240, and it goes pretty quick. When it starts to bubble up, and it looks like it's about to go over the pan, you're likely at 240, okay? Use your thermometer to double check, but make sure you are standing close to it because otherwise it will go over. Big mess, okay? And then what you do is you come over to your gelatin mixture, or your gel mixture, and you put it on low speed and you pour the hot sugar into here at low speed. And then once you're there, then you put the and then once you're there, you're going to turn it up to high speed for about 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, and it'll look like marshmallow fluff when it's done, okay? If it's done correctly, it'll look like marshmallow fluff. And then we will add the vanilla after that, and then we will put it in our pan, and that is what will happen. I will see you in 15 minutes. Here we go. So I'm back, and what I've done is I have put the marshmallow into a smaller pan. You know, what I've discovered with this gel is it doesn't puff up quite as much as gelatin does. And so if you're going to make these vegan marshmallows, you can use a smaller pan. Still make sure you butter it and dust it with the confectioner sugar because you don't want it to stick to the pan. So the next thing that, oh, and by the way, at the end of it ended up being 30 minutes that I whipped it because I wasn't sure how much it was going to puff up. So with gelatin, it takes 15 to 20. With this gel, it took more like 30 for it to really get the consistency of the sticky marshmallowy fluff thing. So, and also the color is different than regular marshmallows because I use that dark agave instead of corn syrup, so it's a little bit more brown. Plus it has some vanilla in there. Remember, I put that vanilla in after it had whipped up. So the last step here is that you dust with confectioner's sugar on the top. So I'm dusting dust, 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 and you want to make sure you get all the corners. Everything's covered with confectioner's sugar. You can use a fine mesh strainer just for this, and then just make sure you've got everything covered. That's pretty good. Okay, and then what you get is this. And you see how it's still moving? That's because it has not set yet. So what you need to do is set it overnight for 24 hours in a cool, dry place. You don't want it to be super hot, but you also don't want to put it in the fridge. You want to make sure that it's just in like a kind of a dark, cool, dry place. So that it sets, and in 24 hours you should have yummy, yummy marshmallows that you can then toast, you can use for s'mores, you can use for whatever you want. Sometimes I like to actually keep it in the fluff setting and just put it in a jar and it's really yummy that way too. So anyway, I had a little taste of it earlier when it was coming out of the bowl, and it was so good. This is Mary Beth Eversole, the allergy actress, wishing you a happy National Toasted Marshmallow Day, and I'm signing off till next time.